Can scalp micropigmentation really pass as real hair? Check out this video and I'll let you know what you gotta look out for. Hi, I'm Ruben Diaz, master artist at Edge Scalp Ink in Silver Spring, Maryland. Stick around to the end. I'll let you know what you can do to get the most natural results from your scalp micropigmentation. So, does scalp micropigmentation actually look like real hair? Yes, scalp micropigmentation does look like real hair and absolutely looks phenomenal if done correctly by the right artist using the right pigment. I have it on my head. People are usually blown away because I don't tell them usually during the consultation at the beginning that it's SMP. And then at the end, I kind of hit them with it and they're just like blown away. They say it looks so real, you can't tell. What factors can affect how natural SMP looks? So, number one would be choosing the right look. You want to make sure that your look is age appropriate, that it's natural, that it matches with what you're looking for. You know, that's very important. Whether it's a sharp hairline or a soft hairline, there's ways to make everything look real. You just got to make sure you research the artist's skill and expertise levels. Make sure you look at photos, reviews, ask what pigment they use. They might tell you, they might not. So all that is very, very, very important. I think research is key. And make sure that they've actually done the look that you want to do. The last one is make sure that they're using the right pigment. Again, looking online at their reviews, at their photos is very important because then you can kind of tell that they're using the right pigment. Now, what you can do is you can go into the consultation and be in front of the person and then they can show you, usually the artist has SMP on their head. Hopefully they do. And then you can kind of look at what the pigment looks like on their head. And if it looks real, then, you know, chances are it's going to look just like that on you. Here are some aftercare tips to maintain natural results. So we have a 4-day aftercare window. And so what we want you to be careful with is exposure to sunlight. We don't want you to touch your head. We don't want you to get, you know, any infections. Don't shave your head and don't wet your head and don't do anything that makes you sweat too much. You want to kind of make sure the integrity of the pigment stays well on your head and, you know, you don't want to have any issues with it. Now, in the long term, it's always a good idea to avoid harsh chemicals. You know, anytime you want to use a lotion or a shampoo or anything like that, make sure it's organic. I always say organic is the way to go. You want to avoid long-term sun exposure. So if you're in the Caribbean and you're there for a week and you're going to be outside every single day, wear some sunscreen, wear a hat. You don't have to walk in the shadows like a vampire, but it's important to kind of just be smart about it and don't expose your skin too much to the sun because the number one enemy of the pigment is UV rays and they'll fade the pigment quicker than it should fade. What should you expect from the scalp micropigmentation process? So first things first is go to the consultation. If you can meet in person, that would be best. If you do a video call, you can do that as well. There's no substitute for meeting someone in person. And then make sure you ask the right questions and the artist is answering your questions correctly. When you come in to the first treatment, if you're drawing on your hairline, the artist is gonna draw it on with a wax pencil. You guys are going to tweak it until you get it right. They're going to tell you the pigment, what's the plan, what are we going to do, how we're going to do this over several sessions. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you got to get also the aftercare instructions. You get them on paper or tell them to send you a link. It's actually very, very important. And that way you don't end up in any bad situations. And I think one of the most important things that people kind of overlook is the communication that your artist has with you. Anytime a client texts me or calls me, I always text them back as soon as I can, call them back as soon as I can. Avoid artists that seem like right after you pay that deposit, they were super communicative before that, but then they kind of disappeared on you. Or after the first session, you text them, they don't text you back, they don't call you back. Those are red flags and you should be careful. And I think you can kind of figure out what kind of person they are once you meet them in person.